past battles won and lost and legends unfold. A seasoned veteran in his own time. On the battlefield he gained respectful fame, with many medals of bravery and stripes to his name. He grew a beard as soon as he could to cover the scars on his face, and always urged his men on. But on the eve of great battle with the infantry and dream, the old general tossed in his sleep and wrestled with its meaning. He awoke from the night to tell what he had seen, and walked slowly out of his tent. All the men held tall with their chests in the air, with the courage and the thought and the fire in their stare. And it was a great morning, and they all wondered how they would fare. To the old general told them to go home. He said, I have seen the others, and I have discovered that this fight is not worth fighting. And I've seen our mothers, and I will know other to follow me where I'm going. So take a shower and shine your shoes. You got no time to lose. You are young man, you must be living. Take a shower and shine your shoes. You got no time to lose. You are young man, you must be living. Go now, you are forgiven. But the men stood fast with their guns on their shoulders, not knowing what to do with the contradicting orders. The general said he would do his own duty, but he extended no further. The men could go as they pleased, but not a man moved. Their eyes gazed straight ahead till one by one they stepped back and not a word was said. And the old general was left with his own words echoing in his head. He then prepared to fight. He said, I have seen the others, and I have discovered that this fight is...
Good evening and welcome to Hamlin Sports Complex in Springfield,
After
Oregon for
taking
tonight's
Game 1
game
yesterday, the
between
Springfield
Walla Walla
Drifters
Sweets
are
and
back
your
here at home for
Springfield
Game 2 against the
Drifters.
Walla Walla Sweets.
Pitch is
Hello and
scheduled
welcome
for
to Hamlin
6:35
Sports
p.m.
Complex. My name is Knight Uretsky, your play-by-play man for the Springfield Drifters. And before we get into today's game, we're going to step aside real quick and play you today's player talk. There is no Tommy talk today. Ultimately, we ended up having to grab a player. Richards was busy doing other things today and really wasn't the greatest time to interview him, so we decided to grab Ryan Fowler, who is sitting on the side. He's not playing today. He's not doing anything. We have a rotation of 4 catchers, and he was the 4th one, not really in charge of anything, and so we decided to interview him today after he had a really great performance yesterday. He's a new guy on the team, and he has a unique story, so we decided to interview him. So let's go ahead and play you today's player talk with Ryan Fowler.
We would also like to direct your attention to the outfield fence in appreciation of the additional sponsors.
Now Uretsky here with Ryan Fowler, and Ryan, you're a catcher for the Springfield Drifters, but before you got to the Drifters, you played for the Bend Elks and the CCLST. Can you just talk about that weird path to get to the Springfield Drifters?
Yeah, so out of college, I basically didn't really know where I was going. I signed with the CCL Showcase first, back in like February. The Bend Elks then lost a couple guys, so they picked me up, and then I finished my 10-day contract with them. Went back to the CCL Showcase for 1 game, and then Keith called me, and now I'm here.
Awesome, awesome. And you go to Tacoma Community College. What ended up making you decide to go there, and how's that experience been for you?
I really enjoyed Tacoma Community College. Mummert, he's a great coach. I like the coaching staff as a whole. I signed with them early going into my senior year. For me, it was just that they move people on really efficiently, and players just get better there at the end of the day.
You were a switch hitter in high school, and then you've ultimately become a left-handed hitter. Can you just talk about that change as a hitter in the offensive side?
Yeah, so when I first got to college, I was doing a little bit of switch hitting. I'd done it for a while. Offensively, I just wasn't as I really didn't have a good side at the time. I could swing it a little bit left, swing it a little bit right, but nothing really, solid. And then kind of as the season went on, we dropped it in the winter. Let's focus on, just that side, especially being a catcher where we have a lot of defensive stuff to do too. So what ended up happening is, the left side started to prevail and, started to gain significant ground on the right side. And then, I decided, okay, it's time to maybe just focus on the left side.
Yesterday, Dylan O'Connor threw a complete game, and you were the catcher behind the plate. Can you just talk about the connection that you had with the pitcher yesterday?
Yeah, so the only previous knowledge I've ever had of him is he pitched against us at Bellevue. He threw against us early in the season, so I knew a little bit about him, but more of hitting. I hit against him, not so much on the catching side. So we talked a little bit in the bullpen. He started out, a little bit little bit iffy in the beginning, and then in the game it was just locked in. I mean, from inning 1 all the way to inning 9, just locked in. The bullpen, he was having some issues getting the curveball down a little bit, but at the end of the day, it was just as soon as we went to the game, he was lights out and just had a great mentality, and we really worked well together. In between innings, we talked about how we wanted to attack, the lineup going through the first time. Then the second time, he let me know if he thought something. I let him know if I thought something, and that's kind of how we went along with the game.
Awesome. Offensively, you were also really, really strong. 3 hits and a couple of RBIs for you. Can you just talk about what you were seeing at the plate?
Yeah, so essentially, I just like to swing. So I'm swinging as soon as I see a ball in the zone.
See ball, hit ball, I guess. I mean, you've been with the Springfield Drifters for really just a short little bit. What's been your favorite memory so far?
I really enjoy the early work part of it. There's a lot of guys that are really helpful, and we have some guys that have helped me out with certain things, like just talking about it. You got for catching wise, you got 4 guys that are all pretty good, and talking over different things between moves, receiving this and that, and then also offensively just kind of looking at different guys' swings that can do a little bit different, and then trying to see how you can maybe add that to your game or if that might work for you in the long run.
Lastly, who's your favorite person you've met so far with the Drifters?
I got a few Tacoma guys, but probably Brado. He and I kind of gelled pretty quickly, so for sure him.
Awesome. That's been today's Player Talk with Ryan Fowler.
So that was today's Player Talk with Ryan Fowler. Again, we couldn't do Tommy Talk today because Tommy was busy doing other things, and ultimately it wasn't the best time to interview him today. We grabbed Ryan Fowler, and he was the guy that we got to talk to today. Obviously had a great day yesterday. 3 for 5 with 2 base hits, resulting in RBIs for Ryan Fowler, the new addition to the Springfield Drifters. But like we said, there's 4 catchers on this team, and it's a rotation between them, and today he's off the lineup, and he's not really doing anything. One guy's being a bullpen catcher today, one guy's going to be there in case of an emergency, and one guy's going to be behind the plate. Today, Fowler's none of the above, and so he was just chilling, and he was happy to do the interview, and we were happy to have him as well. Let's go ahead and jump to today's starting lineups. And let's start with the Walla Walla Sweets. Leading off is going to be Will Fenning, the center fielder today. Fenning was in right field yesterday and then got pulled after he went 0 for 2 in his first 2 at-bats. That ended his hit streak. He is currently leading the WCL in batting average. He has a .439 batting average. He's a really impressive player. Batting in the 2 spots going to be Josh Williams, the right fielder. He also played yesterday, but then got taken out. A lot of these guys for Walla Walla got taken out yesterday as they made numerous amounts of substitutions. In fact, their top 6 guys in the order ended up getting pulled from the game, and they only left 3 guys out there. J.J. Girardin, who was at third base yesterday, he's going to be the shortstop today. Jordan Andrade, he'll be the third baseman. Derek Jellos, the first baseman today. He'll be batting in the 5th spot. Sixth spot in the order. Nick Strong is going to be the catcher. He's followed by Devin Ornelas, the left fielder. Cooper Cross, the DH today, and he's going to be followed by Jared Mazzaferro, and he'll be batting in the 9th spot. So that's the order 1 through 9 for the Walla Walla Sweets. They'll be facing off against the right-handed pitcher in Jace Stoffel. He's the right-hander from the University of Oregon. He was Oregon's Sunday guy this past year. He had worked his way into the rotation for Oregon and ultimately became the Sunday guy. He had an excellent performance in the college baseball tournament against Louisville in the Louisville Regional. But ultimately, Oregon ended up getting sent home, and Stoffel's now with the Drifters. He's had some good moments with Springfield, but he's also had some poor moments. He's been a little bit under the weather this week, but he's back in the Drifters uniform today, and he's set to go. Be fun to see Stoffel throw, as it's a Stoffel Saturday here in Springfield. On the other side, let's move to the Drifters starting lineup. Jalen Ray is going to be the shortstop. He's back in the lineup for the first time since last Saturday. He was the WCL Player of the Week after he went 13 for 22 in his opening week as a Springfield Drifter. Had that 5 for 6 performance against the Bend Elks last Saturday. Ended up dealing with a little bit of a wrist injury, but he's back in the lineup today. Cole Kleckner going to be in center field. Yesterday he went 2 for 4 with an RBI, and he's continued to hit the ball really, really well. He's on a 4-game hit streak. Jordan Justice, who hit his 3rd home run in 3 days, he's going to be moved up to the 3 spot today. And the cleanup position is going to be Jake Dodge at first base. In right field, another guy coming back in the lineup for the first time in a week. It's going to be Taylor Holder, the right fielder from the University of Oregon. He's followed by another Pac-12 guy. Nate Stevens going to be back behind the plate for the first time in a long time. Stevens was out with a little bit of soreness, and then when he came back, he was just DHing. This is his first time actually getting to catch. And since, I want to say, before the Bend series, so it's been quite the amount of time with Stevens out behind the plate. He's going to be then followed by Ethan Sitzman, the second baseman, heading to St. Louis. He'll be in the 7th spot in the order. Jack Thompson, who came in yesterday for Michael Soper, he's going to get the start at third base today. He'll be batting in that 8th spot, and he's followed out by Mac Moyer, the left fielder, heading off to the University of Oregon. And so today, the Drifters have 3 guys playing from the University of Oregon. This is a really exciting site for Springfield, as this is a relationship that really the Drifters want to build on for a while. They want to have the Oregon guys come here to Springfield. It's obviously a lot closer for these players to come to Springfield than it is to maybe go to Corvallis or Walla Walla. And so the Drifters hoping to build a good relationship with the University of Oregon. And today we get to see 3 Ducks in a Drifters uniform. Very exciting stuff. They'll be facing off against Cameron Scudder. He's a left-handed pitcher from Utah Valley, originally from Yuma, Arizona, and he's going to be the pitcher for the Walla Walla Sweets. So that's today's starting lineups. A little bit about today. Springfield 7-12, Walla Walla 7-9. So Springfield's played 3 more games than Walla Walla. They just have those 3 more losses compared to the Sweets. Springfield currently 7 games out of first place. Corvallis 11-2 overall at the top of the South standings. Walla Walla, they're just right in front of Springfield. They're 5.5 games out. And really, it's just those 3 games that Springfield has played and Walla Walla hasn't. If Springfield can win today and tomorrow, then they can overtake Walla Walla in that 6th position in the South. And so this is a big game because, well, Springfield could win the series against Walla Walla today. And it's also big because if they win today, then they can go for the sweep tomorrow and potentially move up in the standings. So that'll do it for us here on this pregame talk. We'll send it to a quick break, and we'll come back after the national anthem and give you a little bit of baseball here in Springfield. You're listening to the Springfield Drifters here on the Drifters live stream.
lineup for your Springfield Drifters. Batting first, playing shortstop, number 2, representing Central Arizona College, Jalen Ray. Batting second, playing center field, number 8, representing Lane Community College, Cole Kleckner. Batting third as designated hitter, number 44, representing Everett Community College, Jordan Justice. Batting fourth, playing first base, number 26, representing UC Santa Barbara, Jake Dodge. Batting fifth, playing right field, number 30, representing the University of Oregon, Taylor Holder. Batting sixth, playing catcher, number 18, representing Washington State University, Nate Stevens. Batting seventh, playing second base, number 17, representing St. Louis University, Ethan Sitzman. Batting eighth, playing third base, number 31, representing Lewis and Clark College, Jack Thompson. Batting ninth, playing left field, number 39, representing the University of Oregon, Matt Moyer. Starting pitcher for the Drifters this evening, number 28, representing the University of Oregon, Chase Stoffel. The Drifters are managed this evening by head coach Tommy Richards. Ladies and gentlemen and fans of all ages, please rise if you are able for the playing of our national anthem. Fans, that concludes our pregame activities. Let's play ball!
Welcome back to Hamlin Sports Complex. Knight Uretsky with you guys here today as the Springfield Drifters come into this game 7-12, host the Walla Walla Sweets, who are 7-9. Springfield took game 1 yesterday over the Walla Walla Sweets, and they're hoping to take game 2 here today at home. Jay Stoffel, the man on the mound for the Springfield Drifters, and Stoffel, this is going to be his third outing with Springfield as the righty from the University of Oregon gets ready to go. Be facing off against this Walla Walla team who, well, they've been on a little bit of a cold streak. They won the first game against Corvallis. They gave Corvallis their first loss of the year, and then since that point, they got a lot of confidence. They went into that next game, and then they ended up losing to the Knights. They ended up not having any success against Corvallis in games 2 or 3. In fact, Corvallis pretty much dominated Walla Walla in those matchups, and ultimately, they went on a little bit of a stutter, and yesterday they came out, and Dylan O'Connor went the distance. distance for the Springfield Drifters. It's the first complete game in Springfield Drifters history. But Walla Walla right now has dropped 3 straight. They lost 5-10 to Corvallis in game 2, 5-9 in game 3, and they lost yesterday 2-7. So they've lost their last 3 games by 4 or more runs. And Walla Walla looking to find their footing, hoping to do it today. It's a hot day here in Springfield. It's over 90 degrees today. Really, really irregular for Oregon weather. And although there's no clouds in the sky, this is a really hot day, and it'll be interesting to see how the heat affects these players. I know numerous amount of players were already dreading the heat. The water has been refilled numerous times already. And we'll see, because the weather is so hot, we'll see if the ball is going to fly today. The wind not nearly as windy as it's been in the past week here in Springfield, just a slight breeze to the left. Will Fenning leading things off for Walla Walla as the first pitch to him, in there for a strike, 0-1. So Jay Stoffel on the mound for the Drifters. We saw him against Yakima Valley, only went 2/3 of an inning before last week getting the start against Bend. Here's the 0-1, and that one's fouled back by Fenning, and it's 0-2. Will Fenning, he's batting .439 on the year with 3 doubles and 6 RBIs. Fenning, one of the best hitters in the WCL. In fact, leading the WCL in batting average. The 0-2 fouls it off, and he'll stay alive. Fenning, despite the impressive numbers offensively, yesterday 0 for 2. And that was a big drop for him. He had a hit streak, and it ended up ending yesterday. And now he's trying to get back and start a new hit streak against Springfield. Here's the 0-2 pitch from Stoffel, grounded to the left side. Thompson charges in, fields it. He'll flip it over to first. Dodge makes the catch across the line, ran right into Fenning, but they record the out. Fenning's retired, and one is gone here in the top of the first. So bring up Josh Williams, the right fielder. First pitch to him, misses outside, and it's 1-0. So Stoffel in that game against Bend last week, he went 4 innings. He allowed 4 earned runs. Those 4 runs came actually in the 4th inning. And so he went really good to start. And then he ran into some trouble. This one's a big swing and a miss for Williams, and the count evens 1-1. 1 out here in the top of the first, 0-0 the score after the Fenning ground out. Williams this season, a .316 batting average with a home run, 2 doubles, and 5 RBIs. The 1-1 to him, in there for a strike, and it's 1-2. So Jay Stoffel getting his first start here at home, wearing the white uniforms today for the Drifters. Yesterday it was a lovely uniform matchup, blue versus red. The 1-2, got him looking. Stoffel picks up his first K of the day. So backwards K, and I'll bring up J.J. Girardin with 2 outs and nobody on. So Girardin getting a start at shortstop today. Yesterday we saw him at the 3rd base position before he was replaced by Leo Riviera. Stoffel set. Here's the first pitch to him. In there for a strike, 0-1. So we mentioned in the pregame, Jay Stoffel goes to the University of Oregon, became the Sunday guy there this year for the Ducks. He originally transferred there from Umpqua Community College. Gets this one to ground up. Coming in is Ray, the shortstop. He'll fire it over to first and retire Girardin. 3 up, 3 down here in the first. The Springfield Drifters coming up to bat. You're listening to the Springfield Drifters here on the Drifters live stream.
Please take time to support our local businesses and visit the selection of food carts and concessions located on both the first and third base concourses, as well as close by the north entrance. For those partaking in alcoholic beverages, we please remind you to drink responsibly. Number 2, Jalen Ray.
Bottom of the first inning, the Springfield Drifters batting for the first time today. Jalen Ray, Cole Kleckner, Jordan Justice, the shortstop, center fielder, and DH due up for Springfield as Ray steps into the box for the first time in a week, facing off against the left-hander in Cameron Scudder. First pitch to Jalen Ray, in there for a strike, 0-1. So Jalen Ray was named the WCL Player of the Week last week, and then he was injured. Second pitch to him, misses outside, 1-1. He was injured with a little bit of a wrist injury. It was not game on. It wasn't too much, it just kept him out momentarily, and he's back in today. Fouls off this one, and it's 1-2 to him. Ray was a late addition to the Drifters, had to go finish his season at Central Arizona, where he won the JUCO World Series. He originally came in as an outfielder, but we've seen him more in the infield. The 1-2 to him. Fouls it off again. We'll see another pitch. Still beyond me. He came in, expected to be the outfielder, and then the first day he said, "Where do you want to play me?" And they said, "In the outfield." He said, No, where do you want to play me? I can play anywhere." They put him in the infield, and he did a really good job in BP, and they kept him there. 1-2 misses, and it's now 2-2. So they put him at shortstop, and he's done a really great job defensively. Hasn't had any errors so far this year. 2-2, fouled away again as Ray stays alive against Cameron Scudder, the left-hander from Utah State. Utah State, the third school Cameron Scudder's been to. He transferred from a couple of places prior to it. Ray fouls it off one more time. And they're going to say he's out with a swinging strikeout. Then he ran to first as the ball got past the catcher. He's arguing that he should be at first. And now Richards is coming out to discuss with the umpire, Billy Yeager. So if he didn't foul tip it and the ball just found its way to the backstop, then Ray should be at first because of a drop third strike call, I believe. And I guess they're going to say that it hit Ray, and so he's out. So it's a strikeout. Really weird play. Either way, first strikeout recorded by Scudder as Cole Kleckner stands in. First pitch to him, in there for a strike, 0-1. Cole Kleckner got the start yesterday. He went 2 for 4 with a run and an RBI. He's on a 4-game hitting streak. Checks his swing and fouls it off. 0-2 quickly to Cole Kleckner. Overall in the year, Kleckner's batting .295 with 7 RBIs. He's been a consistent hitter, but he's really starting to heat up. The 0-2. This one sent towards center field, not too far back for Elnelis. He'll come in, make the catch. And Cole Kleckner's retired.
Number 44, Jordan Justice.
This brings up Jordan Justice, the DH. 2 outs, bottom of the first, 0-0 the score. Jordan Justice yesterday 1 for 3, and he had a home run. It was a 2-run shot in the 8th. First pitch to him, in there for a strike, 0-1. Cameron Scudder's been peppering the zone, and he gets ahead here to the DH. Justice on the year, 243 batting average. Fouls it back, and it's 0-2. So Cameron Scudder gets ahead 0-2 to Jordan Justice after getting ahead to Colt Kleckner 0-2. Quickly winds and deals, and a swinging strike 3 for Jordan Justice. Second strikeout for Cameron Scudder. Back-to-back 1-2-3 frames for each team. We head to the second. 0-0 the score. You're listening to the Springfield Drifters here on the Drifters live stream.
Don't forget to grab your Drifters gear before it's gone. Visit the Drifters merchandise store located by the north entrance and be a part of the Drifters crew for the 2022 season. With great selection of styles and sizes, you're sure to find the perfect gear for the entire family. Now batting number 4, Jordan Andrade.
Top of the second inning, 0-0 the score. Each pitcher, Cameron Scudder and Jay Stoffel, with back-to-back 1-2-3 innings. And it brings up Jordan Andrade, Derek Jellos, and Nick Strong for the Walla Walla Sweets. First pitch for Jay Stoffel here in the top of the second inning. High and inside, and it's 1-0. So we're talking about it a little bit. Jay Stoffel, originally from the Roseburg area, before heading up to Oregon. As Andrade sends a liner up the middle, it gets down. Andrade thinking about 2 and now comes back to first. Took a big round around first and then decided to head back. So it's a leadoff single for the Walla Walla Sweets. We get our first hit of the game. That goes to Jordan Andrade, the third baseman from UNLV. So here's Derek Jellos, the first baseman. Jellos yesterday, he went 1 for 2. Overall in the year, a 385 batting average with 5 hits and 3 runs. Runner at first, nobody out. Stoffel working out of the stretch now. First pitch to Jellos. Big hack, fouls it back at the plate, 0-1. So Stoffel, he is from the town of 10 Mile, Oregon, which is, you guessed it, 10 miles outside of Roseburg. Grew up on a farm there raising cattle. The 0-1 fouled off by Jellos. That's 0-2. So he's raising cattle there in 10 Mile. Considers himself a big cowboy. In fact, today, as he entered the ballpark, he was wearing boots, wearing some boot pants, and just being an absolute cowboy he is, he said. The 0-2. on its way. This one sent out towards left field. Moyer arranging back, making the catch in left. Throwing it in into second base, heading back to first is Andrade. First out is recorded here in the top of the second.
Now batting, number 11, Nick Strong.
So bring up Nick Strong, the catcher, to face off against Jay Stoffel. Runner at first, one out. Top of the second, 0-0 the score. First pitch to Strong, line to left, down. Andrade heads to second. Moyer throws it to third. He overshot his cutoff man, and now two men are aboard for the Walla Walla Sweets. Two hits in this inning. This brings up Devin Ornelas. He's the center fielder from LMU. Ornelas came into the game yesterday, late in the game. He was one of the substitutions that got put in the lineup. He went 0 for 1 with a walk. Wind starting to pick up here in Springfield, drifting out to left. First pitch, Ornelas, high, and it's 1-0. Defensively for the Drifters, Mac Moyer in left, Cole Kleckner in center, Taylor Holder in right. In the infield, Jack Thompson, Jalen Ray, Ethan Sitzman, and Jake Dodge left to right from third base to first base. And then behind the plate is going to be Nate Stevens, the catcher from Wazoo. Pitch is in there for a strike, and it's 1-1. So it's a little bit fun. You get the Pac-12 connection here. Jay Stoffel, the Oregon pitcher, and Nate Stevens, the Wazoo catcher. Both really talented guys, both playing for the Drifters. Here's the 1-1. Curveball misses, and it's now 2-1. For Stoffel, we'll see a fastball, curveball, slider changeup from him. He's a four-pitch guy. Working in a 2-1 count. Had a 1-2-3 inning first, but has since given up two hits here in the second. Two runners on as the pitch comes in. Fouled off by Ornelas, and it's 2-2. So Stoffel, despite being from 10 Mile, he ended up going to high school in Roseburg, went to Roseburg High School. His senior season was canceled because of COVID, and then he went to Umpqua Community College. He started 9 games at Umpqua, finished 6-2 with a 2.17 ERA, and ultimately led him to Eugene. Pitch misses away, and now the count's full to Ornelas. Ended up choosing the Ducks over Oregon State, had the option to go to both schools. Oregon offered a little bit more money and ultimately decided to play at Oregon instead of Oregon State, despite Oregon State's success as a college baseball program. Payoff pitch, swing and a miss from Ornelas. It's a strikeout for Jay Stoffel, his second of the day, and now two are gone here in the second. This brings up Cooper Cross, the DH, 1 for 3 yesterday with a 2 RBI double. It was the biggest hit of the game for Walla Walla as they lost 7-2, and the 2 runs came on that hit for Cooper Cross. First pitch to him, big swing and a miss. Stoffel got him to chase on a pitch outside, and it's 0-1. Cooper Cross this season, a .333 batting average, 9 RBIs, 3 doubles, and a home run. Just looking at this Walla Walla lineup, they have some serious bats in their order. The 0-1, swing and a miss, and Stoffel gets ahead 0-2. So Stoffel had that 1-2-3 inning first, has allowed 2 hits here in the second, but got a strikeout to Ornelas, and now he's ahead 0-2 to Cooper Cross. Stoffel set. Looks back towards second a couple of times. Here's the 0-2. Pitch misses away. 1-2. Looked like a waste pitch for Stoffel. Cooper Cross getting the start today and got the start yesterday as well. Cross originally from IMG Academy. He's going to be heading off to Virginia Tech. His teammates with left fielder for the Drifters, Mac Moyer at IMG. 1-2. This one popped high in the air in the infield. Thompson and Ray over on the left side of the field, and Thompson, the third baseman, calls him off. And that'll do it for the top of the second inning. 2 hits for the Walla Walla Sweets, but 2 men are left stranded as Stoffel gets back-to-back outs. We head now to the bottom of the second, 0-0 the score. You're listening to the Springfield Drifters here on the Drifters live stream.
Treat to a lucky Springfield Sweet Tooth of the game, courtesy of B Sweets. Let's see who our Springfield Sweet Tooth is today. Looks like our Sweet Tooth of the game is in section 4, row H, seat 9. Congratulations. We kindly invite all of you to visit B Sweets Food Cart located on the third base concourse. Now batting, number 26, Jake Dodge.
Bottom of the second inning, Jake Dodge, Taylor Holder, Nate Stevens, 4, 5, and 6 in the order. Due up to face off against Cameron Scudder, who had a 1-2-3 inning with 2 strikeouts. First pitch to Dodge, and guessed it. He swings and lines it to right, gets down for a single. Jake Dodge yesterday went on quite the streak. He had 3 straight at-bats where he didn't swing at the first pitch, and he already starts today. First pitch swing in, and it's a single to right. Dodge has been swinging the bat really, really well for the Drifters this year. A .351 batting average, 3 doubles, as well as a few RBIs. Yesterday he went 2 for 4 with an RBI and a walk. He starts his day 1 for 1 today. This brings up Taylor Holder, the right fielder. His first game back in the lineup in a week as he cuts through the first pitch. And it's 0-1. Holder had missed a little bit of time with a shoulder injury in his left arm. That is his non-throwing arm. He said he hurt it a little bit swinging the bat, but he had to rest it a little bit. And he's back in the lineup today, all set to go. Times is called by the umpire. Behind the plate it's going to be Billy Yeager, and the field is Andrew Mervin. Scudder set. Here's the 0-1. Holder looks at it. It's called the strike, and it's 0-2. So ultimately, Holder felt like his shoulder was back. I felt bad, too, because the day that he got injured, he was the guy that recorded my Tommy talk, and he ended up getting scratched from the lineup as he fouls off the 0-2. Stays alive. So he was the one that pushed the button on the camera, and literally 10 minutes after that, I get a text. Holder scratched from the lineup, dealing with a little bit of shoulder soreness, and I was like, man, I really injured Taylor Holder by making him press the button on my camera. Ultimately, that wasn't it, but that's what I like to say as a joke. The 0-2, Holder hits this high in the air, not very far on the right side of the infield. Mazzaferro, the second baseman, makes the catch. Dodd heads back to first.
Number 18, Nate
And the first out is recorded here in the bottom of the second. Here's Nate Stevens, the catcher from Washington State. Originally out of high school, one of the top prospects in the country. He's from Wisconsin, signed with Arkansas, and then it didn't work out. Ended up going the JUCO route and found his way to Wazoo. First pitch to him, misses away, 1-0. Nate Stevens, his first game catching in a while for the Drifters. He's been the DH as of late, but he hasn't been hitting the ball well all season. A 189 batting average, but he's 2 for his last 22 at-bats. Off speed in, misses, and it's 2-0. I think the big thing with Stevens is he gets in his head a lot. All the time, he just gets in his head. If he doesn't have a good at-bat, then it's there sticking with him. I think having them back in the lineup as a catcher is big for him, as it gives him more time to take his mind off his at-bats. That one's in there for a strike, 2-1. You see, when you're a DH, you're just focused on hitting, and so if you have one really poor at-bat to start, let's say a strikeout, then in your mind, all you can think about is your next at-bat, which you're probably thinking about a strikeout. Whereas if you're behind the plate catching, you have more time to try to get that out of your system. As Stevens lines this up the middle, and it gets down. Nate Stevens picks up a hit, and it moves Dodge over to second. 2 hits for the Drifters here in the bottom of the second. With 1 out here for the Drifters offensively. Yesterday, they had 9 hits through the first 3 innings. They're only able to scrape 3 runs across, but today a little bit of a different story. They get their first 2 hits here in the second.
The ones that give their lives so we don't have to sacrifice all the things we love, like our chicken fries.
In steps Ethan Sitzman, the second baseman. Sitzman moved up in the lineup. He is now the 7-hole hitter after being the 9-hole hitter in his previous games with Springfield. First pitch in there for a strike, 0-1. Sitzman batting .286 on the year. Went 2 for 4 yesterday with a run, so his bat came into Springfield. He was a late addition to the roster, and he's done a good job after going 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts in his first game. Really has picked it up. Scudder steps off the mound, and now will step back on. Scudder, the lefty, comes set. At the waist, here's the 0-1. Inside on Sitzman, and it's 1-1. Cameron Scudder, we mentioned it, goes to Utah Valley. This past year at Utah Valley, made 7 appearances with 5 starts. Overall on the year, an 0-3 record with all his losses coming in midweek games. The 1-1, Sitzman skies it towards right, not very far. And dropping in, making the catch on right field.
Now batting, number 31, Jack Thompson.
So bring up Jack Thompson after the flyout by Sitzman. Thompson has really struggled to hit the ball this season. A 108 batting average, just 1 double and 1 home run, which he really blasted to right. Completely different numbers than he had this past year at Lewis and Clark, the D3 school in Portland. Absolutely crushed it. Was named the D3 West Region Player of the Year. Batted over 400, but hasn't had that success with Springfield. First pitch, misses away, 1-0. Thompson was a guy that initially was on a 10-day contract. Then he outplayed that contract, has remained with Springfield since. Michael Soper yesterday tweaked his knee a little bit. He came into the game, and now he's in the starting lineup today. The 1-0 high, and it's now 2-0. Soper, though, he seems to be okay. Just a little bit of a tweak on that knee. Was walking around all right. Sure, it won't keep him out too long, but Thompson is there in the meantime. Here's the 2-0. In there for a strike, 2-1. So Cameron Scudder, before going to Utah Valley, he went to Hawaii Hilo He was one of the top pitchers for the Vulcans in that shortened season due to COVID. He had a 2.61 ERA and struck out 16 and 10 1/3 there at Hawaii Hilo. 2-1 in there for a strike to Thompson, and it's 2-2. Prior to Hawaii Hilo, he went to community college at Chandler Gilbert Community College. He had 4 starts for the Coyotes in the 2020 season. He struck out 15 and 18 2/3 there before going to Hawaii Hilo, the T2 school, and then making the jump to D1 at Utah Valley. Thompson fouls it away, and we'll see another pitch. So that's a little bit of a fun journey for Scudder. JUCO to D2 to D1. We saw Ethan Sitzman come up last at bat. He just made the jump to D1 as well. He was a D3 guy that went the JUCO route, and then he went to D1 this upcoming year as he's going to St. Louis. The 2-2 to Thompson. Curveball, and it's fouled off. We'll see another pitch. 2 men on. Dodge standing at second. Stevens at first. 2 hits in the inning for Springfield, both of them singles. But there's been 2 flyouts to the second baseman, Mazzaferro, one by Holder and one by Sitzman. Times is going to be called, and now Thompson stands back in. 2-2 the count. Scudder set. Here's the 2-2. Thompson hits this high in the air towards right field, but not too far. Williams coming in, making the catch in right. And the inning is over. 2 hits for the Drifters, both men left stranded. We head to the third, 0-0 the score. You are listening to the Springfield Drifters here on the Drifters live stream.
Make sure to grab your tickets now for tomorrow's game against the Sweets at any ticket window or online at driftersbaseball.com. First pitch is scheduled for 1:05 p.m. Number 2, Jared Mazzaferro.
Top of the third inning, Jared Mazzaferro, Will Fetting, Josh Williams, 9-1-2, due up for the Walla Walla Sweets. Jay Stoffel still on the mound for the Drifters. First pitch to Mazzaferro, slider runs inside, and it's 1-0. Thompson, the third baseman, he's playing a little bit in on Mazzaferro. On that first pitch, he was standing right on the infield grass. He'll take a few steps back now, maybe anticipating a bunt. Mazzaferro looks at the second pitch. It's called a strike, and it's 1-1. Mazzaferro yesterday, he was one of the few guys that didn't get pulled in the lineup. He went 0 for 3, though, and he hasn't had a great year, hitting .231 with 3 walks. Stoffel fires a ball away, and it's now 2-1. Mazzaferro goes to the University of Washington, where he's heading into his junior year. Although he's not great offensively, he's been really good defensively. as he grounds one to Jalen Ray, the shortstop, who comes over and makes the play look easy and gets out number 1 here in the 3rd.
Now batting number 6, William Finney.
So here's Will Fenning. He went 0 for 2 yesterday, and today stands in 0 for 1 after grounding out to Jack Thompson to start the game. 1 out, top of the 3rd, 0-0 the score. First pitch from Stoffel to Fenning, sent a mile but foul. And we'll see the 0-1 pitch to Fenning. But again, Will Fenning, just really impressive numbers. Comes from West Texas A&M, and the season 439 with the 3 doubles and 6 RBIs. It's a heck of a start. But he's been a really good player at the D2 school in Texas A&M, or West Texas A&M, excuse me. As he looks in, this one's 1-1 now. He was an honorable mention All Lone Star Conference in 2021, and this past year he was NCAA or D2 NCAA pitcher. As this one's in, misses inside. Excuse me. He was D2 second team All South Central Region, and he was second team All South Central Region overall in the NCBWA. Pitch high from Stoffel, and it's now 3-1 to Fenning. But at West Texas A&M, he started all 58 games in right field for the Buffaloes this past year. Hit .348 with 17 doubles and 14 home runs. 3-1, grounded foul, third base side. 3-2. He's originally from Scottsdale, Arizona. Went to Paradise Valley Community College before transferring to West Texas A&M. Now he's a really strong D2 player. 3-2, grounded back. We'll see another pitch. Tyler Cornett, who's another player on the Walla Walla Sweets. He'll be joining Fenning at West Texas A&M next year. As the 3-2 misses inside, and it's a walk for Fenning. As now runners on at first, 1 out here in the top of the 3rd. Brings up Josh Williams, the right fielder. Lefty digs in. Stoffel set at the waist. Kicks and fires. First pitch misses away. 1-0. So Josh Williams, originally from Clovis, California in the Central Valley. Clovis around Fresno, if you're not familiar with the Central Valley. Went to Buchanan High School, a baseball powerhouse. 1-0, high, and it's now 2-0. He was a CIF champion there at Buchanan. That just tells you a little bit about Buchanan's baseball program. Now headed to UC Santa Barbara, where he currently plays for the Gauchos. The 2-0 to him. Fouled back, 2-1. Here's a unique thing about Josh Williams. His favorite sports team's the San Francisco Giants, but his favorite athlete, Cody Bellinger. A little bit of an interesting pick. Here's the 2-1, Fenning taken off. Williams swings and sends it towards center field, and is gonna drop. Kleckner can't come in and make the catch. Fenning was caught in no man's land between first and second, ultimately was able to get to second. And now 2 men are on for the Walla Walla Sweets here in the top of the 3rd. So this brings up J.J. Girardin. Fenning standing at second, Williams at first. 1 out, top of the 3rd. 0-0 the score. Stoffel on the mound for the Springfield Drifters. First pitch to Girardin. In there for a strike, 0-1. Stoffel had 2 men on with 1 out. Same situation last inning. Ultimately got out of the inning after getting a strikeout to Ornelas and a fly out to Cooper Cross. Working with a little bit more difficult of a lineup in here, the 3-hole hitter in Girardin, as he fires in another strike, and it's 0-2. Jay Stoffel is the type of guy that really, when he runs into trouble, has men aboard, it just seems like he flips the switch and he can just lock in and try to get outs. He's one of those pitchers that it feels like actually does pitch a little bit better with runners on. Swing and a miss. It's a 3-pitch strikeout from Stoffel as Girardin goes down swinging. Strikeout number 3 for Stoffel. And it brings up Jordan Andrade, who singled earlier with 2 outs and 2 men on. First pitch to Andrade. Inside, it gets past Stevens, but he keeps it enough in front of him to hold both runners, and it's 1-0. Man, Stoffel has quite the movement on his slider. It looks like it's going to start in on the box, and then it somehow finds its way a little bit more closer to the plate. And he's really been running that against the right-handed hitters. As a hitter on the right side, you're really seeing that slider come in. It looks like it's headed towards you, and then it drops near the plate. It's a tough pitch to try to hit. Andrade skies this one high in the air, but near the left field line, drifting into foul territory and making the catch is Jack Thompson, the third baseman. And it's the literal same scenario as last inning. Men on first and second with 1 out, and it's a strikeout and a fly out to Thompson to end it from Stoffel as we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. 0-0 the score. Springfield coming up to hit.
Time to give away a sausage hoagie courtesy of Blessed Mess Barbecue and Catering. We have our staff in the stands, and they're looking for the loudest fan in the loudest section, so let's hear you get loud. We kindly invite all of you to visit the Blessed Mess Barbecue Food Cart located on the third base concourse. Now batting, number 39, Matt Moyer.
Back here for the bottom of the 3rd inning, Mac Moyer, Jalen Ray, Cole Kleckner due up as the first pitch to Mac Moyer misses, and it's 1-0. Mac Moyer getting the start today in left field, only a .200 batting average with 4 strikeouts with Springfield. The 1-0 misses, and it's now 2-0. So we mentioned it during Cooper Cross's at bat. Mac Moyer, he was at IMG Academy this past year. Originally from San Diego, but decided to go play at IMG in Florida as the 2-0 to him inside, and it's now 3-0. Ultimately ended up committing to the University of Oregon, going to be a Duck next year, and hoping to get implemented into a crowded outfield in Eugene. The 3-0 in there for a strike, and Moyer thought he was going to first on a free pass. He'll have to stand back into the box. Scudder wastes no time and fires a pitch in. Moyer grounds it up the middle, and it gets past a sliding Girardin at shortstop. And aboard is Mac Moyer with a single.
Now batting, number 2, Jalen Ray.
This brings up Jalen Ray, the shortstop today for the Springfield Drifters. Had that 5-for-6 performance last Saturday against the Bend Elks. Today, strikeout. Springfield ended up losing that game to Bend. They lost on a walk-off, 9-8. And even with Jalen Ray going 5-6, he was upset. Fouls it off, 0-1. I think that just speaks a lot about his character as a player. He's a big competitor. And so even when you go 5-for-6 and have a really successful day hitting, he wasn't pleased with his performance. He felt like he could do more, and ultimately they lost on a wild pitch. I'm not sure if that was on him. The 0-1 misses, and it's 1-1. It's really fun just being around Jalen Ray because he's from Australia, and so when you're just around him, he talks a little bit differently, and just some of the jargon that he uses is a little bit funny to me as an American, but ultimately he's just himself, and I respect that a lot about him. Moyer takes off. They throw back to first. They throw to second now, and with the tag, Girardin gets Mac Moyer. So Moyer's thrown out after they pick him off. Now one is gone here in the bottom of the third. Excellent pickoff move from Cameron Scudder. It's always hard to try to steal against a lefty, especially when he's pointed right back there at first. 1-1 to Jalen Ray. Off speed, misses away, and it's now 2-1. Some of the funny things that I've heard Jalen Ray say is good watching in his accent. As the 2-1 grounded to the right side. Jealous feels it, sprints to first, and just beats out Ray, and the second out is recorded. That good watching that Ray says is his version of saying good eye, good eye. I just think it's comical that that's the words that he uses. This brings up Cole Kleckner, 2 outs, bottom of the third inning. Nobody on. Scudder on the mound, the lefty has been dealing. First pitch to Kleckner. Curveball high, and it's 1-0 to Kleckner. Kleckner 0-for-1 today with fly out to center field. Fell behind 0-2 early to Scudder. Now ahead 1-0. Here's the pitch. Outside, 2-0. Cole Kleckner on a 4-game hitting streak. His bat's been heating up, as that one's in there for a strike. 2-1. Here's the 2-1. Kleckner snaps it back, and it's 2-2. Cole Kleckner staying alive. Daniel Furman with a sprint to get the ball behind the plate. Now sprinting back. Man, I've not seen a player for the Drifters show that much energy coming off to get a foul ball. Kleckner sends this to left, and a line drive hangs high enough for Fenning to come in and make the catch. And that'll do it for the bottom of the third inning. It's a 1-2-3 inning in an unconventional way. After Mac Moyer singled and was picked off, we head to the fourth. 0-0 the score. We're tied here in Springfield.
Play ball like a drifter? Well, you can train like a drifter. Come work out with our players at Elements Health Club here in Springfield. Elements is our workout partner, and they could be yours too. Visit them in any of their Lane County locations, including one just 5 minutes down the road.
Top of the fourth inning, 0-0 the score. Each team so far has 3 hits, but no runs. Stoffel back on the mound for the Drifters. First pitch from him, swing and a miss from Jellos, and it's 0-1. So Derek Jellos comes up to the plate, 0 for 1 today. He flew out back in the second, now up here in the fourth. The 0-1 from Stoffel misses, 1-1. Jellos, he's a utility guy from Seattle University, originally from Issaquah, Washington. The 1-1 to him. One misses. 2-1. He appeared in 48 of 50 games for Seattle this past year. He batted .333. He had 5 doubles, 2 triples, and 2 home runs. Fouls it off here, and it's 2-2. That came after a freshman campaign where he had 37 games that he played in. He started 19 of them. So he's gotten some good action at Seattle U. Teammates with Springfield Drifter Trevor Anderson. The 2-2 from Stoffel. That one bounces in, and it's 3-2. Issaquah, where he's originally from, in the Seattle area, just east, up in the mountains. Full count. Here's the windup. The pitch. Grounded left side through the 5-6 hole, and Jellos is aboard with the leadoff single.
Now batting, number 11, Nick Strong.
Fourth hit given up by Jay Stoffel, and it'll bring up Nick Strong, the catcher. Strong today, 1 for 1 with a single. Also back in the second. Will stand in with a runner at first, nobody out here in the top of the fourth. First pitch, misses, off speed, low, 1-0. Nick Strong, yesterday went 0 for 1, but overall 345 on the year. He can definitely swing the bat a little bit. Has 10 hits and 30 at-bats. This one grounded foul, 1-1. 11 hits now with today's single. Originally from Vacaville, goes to San Joaquin Delta College. There's the catcher wearing red batting gloves, digs in. Here's the 1-1, outside, 2-1. Yesterday, Walla Walla made numerous amounts of substitutions. Their top 6 guys in the order ended up getting taken out, and just talking with the Walla Walla broadcaster, asking him why the substitutions were made, basically they just weren't happy with how they were playing. Brandon Van Horn decided he was just upset with everybody and wanted to take everybody out. As now the count's 3-1 as that pitch missed high. Seems like Walla Walla is in a little bit of a strife right now. They're just trying to find their footing, get back on track. 3-1. This one just softly lined over the third baseman Thompson. Heading over to second is Jellos. And back-to-back singles put 2 men aboard for the Walla Walla Sweets here in the top of the fourth.
Now batting, number 18, Devin Ornelas.
So bring up Devin Ornelas, the center fielder. Ornelas today, 0 for 1 with the strikeout swinging. A little bit of a different situation. 5 hits so far for Walla Walla, with Jello standing at second and Strong at first. First pitch, Ornelas sent high in the air, not very far. Ray in the shallow left field, making the catch as the shortstop squeezes the glove, and the first out's recorded here in the fourth.
Now batting, number 13, Cooper Cross.
This brings up Cooper Cross, the DH. So far today, 0 for 1 with a fly out to Thompson at third. Stoffel's been getting a few flyouts in the infield. That right there was his third pop-up to an infield player. First pitch to Cross, swing and a miss, 0-1. This is what I'm talking about. When Stoffel gets in a situation where he has runners on, it just seems like he has a switch that he flips, and he can just work around batters and get back into it. Sometimes it does cost him, and he does give up some runs, but for the most part, he's been able to find himself a way out of the jams, and he's been able to get some outs. Off speed, in there for a strike, and he gets ahead 0-2 to Cooper Cross. Flag blowing directly towards home plate. And the wind here in Springfield has been really, really interesting. Not many players really expected the wind to be like this, but it seems consistently like the wind has been blowing out towards left field in every single game. Fouled off, 0-2. We'll do again. I think it's really interesting, too, because of the wind blowing out to left. A majority of the wind comes in the early part of the day, especially during batting practice. When I'm out there shagging balls with the players during BP, it gets really, really windy at times, and tomorrow it's going to be a day game, and so it'll be really interesting to see how the wind affects the game because it'll be during the day. These night games, the wind really dies down as Cross sends this into the stands. We'll get another 0-2 pitch. The balls today were polished by Julian Hernandez. Ended up having to scuff the balls a little bit before the game for the umpires. One of the numerous tasks that Hernandez has done with the Drifters. The 0-2, grounded right side. Dodge fields it at first. Thinks about throwing it to 2, but instead tap on first and get the out there. It's a ground out to Dodge, 3 unassisted for Cooper Cross, but it advances both runners, and now 2 men are in scoring position for the 9-hole hitter, Jared Mazzaferro. So Stoffel in a little bit of a jam, trying to work out of it. He did it in the second, he did it in the third, now trying to do it here in the fourth. All he needs is one more out. And it's Mazzaferro at the plate, only a .231 batting average on the year. Off speed, first pitch to him, called the strike, 0-1. So we're talking about Mazzaferro. He's not really the strongest hitter. He's really, really good defensively. If you just look up Jared Mazzaferro, you can find a couple of highlights of his past season at Washington. He's just making phenomenal plays in the infield. The 0-1. Off speed again, called for a strike. It's 0-2. Mazzaferro hesitated for a second, and Stoffel got him buckled up. And now Stoffel's just one pitch away from getting out of this 2 runners in scoring position jam. He's trying to keep it a scoreless game as it is 0-0 here in the top of the 4th. Jello's at third, Strong at second. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Stoffel gets out of it. 3-pitch strikeout, and he gets strikeout number 4 as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. 0-0 the score. You are listening to the Springfield Drifters here on the Drifters live stream.
Please check out our party decks along the first and third baseline. These decks are available to reserve for you and your crew. If you're interested in booking a private group area, please stop by any Drifters ticket office. number 44, Jordan Justice.
Jordan Justice, Jake Dodge, Taylor Holder. 3, 4, and 5, the meat of the order for the Springfield Drifters coming up here in the bottom of the fourth as it's a tie game, 0-0. Cameron Scudder, the left-hander, he's been dealing today for Walla Walla, back on the bump. First pitch to Jordan Justice, looked at, called the strike, 0-1. Got to talk to Jordan Justice a little bit before today's game, and he was already feeling the heat in pregame, as this one from Scudder really got away. Strong, the catcher, couldn't even catch it as it was well into left-handed hitter's batter's box. 1-1. Got out there and he was like, man, it is hot, and I definitely agreed with him here. Definitely lucky to be here in the booth with air conditioning. Justice looks at it, misses, and it's now 2-1. While the weather's been hot, his bat has been as well. 3 home runs, 3 days. As this pitch misses, 3-1. Jordan Justice still looking for a new home. Went to Everett Community College. And, well, Everett's been trying to post on social media his home runs, trying to get him a home. And hopefully he will find a new college to go play baseball at. He's a heck of a player. And he's aboard with a walk after the 3-1 pitch misses. Leadoff man's aboard for Springfield here in the bottom of the fourth. Nobody out. And here's Jake Dodge, who was first pitch swinging at his first at bat. Looked more like himself as he singled it through. And he's 1 for 1. First pitch to him. Does not offer, and it's 1-0 after the pitch sailed outside. Justice, decent speed over a right. He's not the fastest guy, but he is an outfielder and can move at times. Here's the 1-0. Dodge, a big hack. Man, he was really swinging for the fences that time. He fell to his knees. I don't think I've seen that from Dodge all year. He has yet to hit a home run, but he has numerous doubles on the year. Maybe hoping for another one. This one, he'll line up the middle. Feeling on 2 hops is the shortstop Girardin. He'll flip it over to Mazzaferro. They go to 1, and it's a double play that Dodge hits into.
Now batting, number 30, Taylor Holder.
6-4-3 double play, and now 2 are gone with nobody out, or nobody on, excuse me, here in the bottom of the fourth. Taylor Holder steps up to the plate so far today, 0 for 1 with a fly out in the infield in his first game back in a week. First pitch to him, sends it foul, out of play. Holder's only hitting 6 for 27 so far in his at-bats with the Drifters. Entering today, he was 6 for 26 with a .231 batting average. He has hit 3 doubles, so 3 of his 6 hits have been for extra bases. 1-1 now as the 0-1 misses low and away to Taylor Holder. Taylor Holder, of course, the University of Oregon Duck. Originally from Corvallis, and so made the opposite transition going from Corvallis, where Oregon State is, to Eugene, where University of Oregon is. Sure, that didn't make his family too happy as the 1-1. Holder grounds to the left side. Andrade knocks it down, picks it up on the bobble, throws it to first, but Holder beats out the throw. And I'll put a man on after the error from Andrade.
80, Nate Stevens.
So E5 puts a man on, and it brings up Nate Stevens for the second time today. We mentioned Stevens been struggling offensively. He was 0 for his last 3 games. Now he'll ground this one up the middle. Mazzaferro flips it over to Girardin, and the final out is recorded. We head to the 5th inning, still tied 0-0. You're listening to the Springfield Drifters here on the Drifters Livestream.
time for the Papa's Pizza Mini Pizza giveaway. If you're seated in sections 3, 4, 5, row A, congratulations. You'll be receiving a coupon for a free Papa's Pizza Mini Pizza. Now batting, number 6, William Finney.
Top of the 5th inning, 0-0 the score. Jay Stoffel back on the mound for the Springfield Drifters. First pitch from Stoffel, curveball drops in for a strike. 0-1 to Will Fenning. Fenning today 0 for 1, although he did reach on a walk in the 3rd. He's left stranded at 2nd. The 0-1 to him, fouled back, and that got Stevens. You could see him tilt back his head in a little bit of pain. That's 0-2. So Will Fenning goes to West Texas A&M, transferred there from Paradise Valley Community College in Arizona. He was a .303 hitter at PVCC before heading off to West Texas. This one fouled back. Prior to going to PVCC, he was at Chaparral High School in Scottsdale. Batted .465 during his senior year there. Had 5 home runs and 34 overall RBIs. The 0-2, Fenning sends this one for a ride to left, but catching it in the wind is Moyer, and he'll make the catch. First out is recorded. Fenning still hitless against the Drifters. This brings up Josh Williams, the right fielder. 1 for 2 today with a single in the 3rd and a strikeout back in the 1st. First pitch, in there for a strike, 0-1. Jay Stoffel on the mound for the Drifters. He's a real fun guy to be around in the dugout. He's always cracking jokes with the guys, and he's probably one of the most active guys that you see around. Try to be friends with anybody. Here's the 1-1 now. After that pitch misses. Well, he's a guy that will literally just crack a joke. He'll talk to you and then get you in on a joke with another player, as Williams sends this one towards right field, ranging over his holder, and he'll make the catch in right center. The second out is recorded. Back-to-back flyouts. In fact, one of the first conversations that I had with Jay Stoffel, I was talking with Julian Hernandez, and Hernandez and I have a really good relationship. And Stoffel came up to me and said, you know what, it'd be really fun if we just disregarded everything that Julian said. We just completely just said no to everything that Julian said, even if he was right. And it was funny because it angered up Hernandez a little bit, but Stoffel had a fun time with it. Pitch misses now to J.J. Girardin, and it's 1-0. Well, that's the type of guy he is. Really just picking on players, cracking jokes. Fun guy to be around. 1-0 drops in, and it's 1-1. J.J. Girardin today 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. Trying to get his first hit. Here's the 1-1. Runs inside, and it's now 2-1. Girardin, he goes to Point Loma Nazarene. And man, if you haven't seen Point Loma's campus, definitely look it up. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's right out there in San Diego, and literally right on the cliffs of the ocean. There's students that I know that go there, and literally they leave their class, bring their board to the water, and go and surf, as this one's fouled off 2-2. Similar to Pepperdine, but this one I feel like is a little bit closer to the ocean. And it's a heck of a place to go play baseball, as the field literally overlooks the ocean. It's one of the prettier places you can play baseball. 2-2 the count, 2 outs, nobody on. Here's the pitch. Fouled. We'll see it again. So Stoffel, he had hits given up in each of the last 3 innings. 2 hits in the second, 1 hit in the third, and then 2 hits last inning in the fourth. Has gotten the first 2 batters out on flyouts here in the fifth. And he's 1 strike away from a 1-2-3 inning. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss, a strikeout for Stoffel. Stevens throws over to first. They get Girardin. He's down on strikes for the second time today. Strikeout number 5 for Jay Stoffel as we head to the bottom of the fifth, still knotted at 0. You're listening to the Springfield Drifters here on the Drifters Live Stream.
Batting number 17, Ethan Sitzman.
I thank God for my life, for the stars and stripes, may freedom forever fly, let it ring, salute the ones who
Bottom of the fifth inning, 0-0 the score. Both pitchers have been really solid. And Cameron Scudder back on the mound, the lefty from Utah Valley for the Walla Walla Sweets. Ethan Sitzman stands in. So far today, 0 for 1 with a flyout. First pitch misses inside, and it's 1-0. Ethan Sitzman, he went to junior college at Wabash Community College. It's basically in the middle of nowhere in Illinois. This one misses, and it's 2-0. Said he actually enjoyed going to school out there. Said he was really into the redneck stuff, as there really isn't much out there to do, and so there's a lot of redneck activities he said that he got to enjoy, as he sends this one to left, and coming in and making the catch is Fenning. And Sitzman's retired for the second time today.
Now batting number 31, Jack Thompson.
Brings up Jack Thompson, who's 0 for 1 today with the fly out to right.
I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like a someone. I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun.
So Thompson digging in. Again, he's been struggling to hit the ball. First pitch to him, called to strike, 0-1. Coming in today, 108 batting average. Quite the drop from his college average a season ago. 450. This one's in there for a strike, 0-2. This past year at Lewis and Clark, that .450 batting average, he slugged .946. Pitch outside, 1-2. He had 58 hits. 20 of them were doubles. 14 of them were home runs. And he cuts through that one, and he goes down swinging. Jack Thompson continues to struggle to hit the ball. Second out is recorded here in the bottom of the 5th. That right there is the 3rd strikeout from Scudder. Here's Mac Moyer, the freshman heading off to Oregon. First pitch, high and inside, 1-0. Moyer so far a single, was back in the 3rd. He was the last hitter to get a hit for the Drifters, as they've only had 3 so far today. Curveball drops in, called the strike to Moyer, 1-1. Man, Scudder has quite the off-speed pitch. He's only lost control of it a few times, but for the most part, he's really gotten it to go. Wasted no time. Here's the 1-1. And there it runs inside on Moyer, and it almost hit him. Brushed him up and shakes his head a little bit, trying to get back into this at-bat. Baseball's a real big mental game. Although there's a lot of physical activity that you have to do to be a very good baseball player, a lot of it is really mental, trying to compose yourself and take it pitch by pitch. 2-1, Moyer fouls it off. Late swing from Moyer, and it's a little bit defensive. And he evens the count 2-2. Mac Moyer, the son of former big leaguer Jamie Moyer. 2-2 to him. High, and the count's full. Couple of guys on the Drifters with parents that played baseball. Think of Jake Dodge as well as Trevor Anson. But Moyer swings through that one. Goes down swinging, back-to-back strikeouts for Cameron Scudder. And we're through 5, and we're still knotted at 0. You're listening to the Springfield Drifters here on the Drifters Live Show.
All of our veterans, including those in attendance. If you served in our nation's military at home or abroad, please stand up to be recognized. Let's give these heroes a big Drifters round of applause. Forward, Jordan Andrade.
Top of the 6th, and it's still 0-0 as Jay Stoffel returns on the mound for the Springfield Drifters. Jordan Andrade leading things off for Walla Walla. First pitch to Andrade, misses low, and it's 1-0. Jordan Andrade, originally from California, the Inland Empire, decided to go off to UNLV, so he went from one place that's mildly hot to one place that is extremely hot. The 1-0 In there for a strike, 1-1. This past year at UNLV, he made 33 appearances with 20 starts. Batted .286 with 10 RBIs, 6 doubles, and a home run. 1-1, in there for a strike, and it's now 1-2. So he had 20 starts this past year after only 3 starts as a freshman for the running Rebels. Here's the 1-2 from Stoffel. Check swing, did he go? Yes, he did. It's a strikeout for Stoffel. That is K number 6, back-to-back strikeouts for Jay Stoffel. And the first batter's gone here in the 6th. Stoffel only had 2 strikeouts in the 4 innings that he threw against Bend last week. So a much better performance here today at home. Derek Jellos now stands in. First pitch to him. In there for a strike, 0-1. Jellos today, 1 for 2 with the single back in the 4th. He was left stranded at 3rd. That's been the closest any runner's been to scoring today. The 0-1 misses outside, and it's now 1-1. 5 hits for Walla Walla, just 3 hits for Springfield. Springfield's been hitless in their last 3 innings. Grounded to the left side. Ray, the shortstop, picks it up, fires over to first, and back-to-back batters are retired as 2 are gone here in the top of the 6th.
Now batting number 11, Nick Strong.
So we'll bring up Nick Strong, who's 2 for 2 today with 2 singles. Strong went 0 for 1 yesterday before they pulled him. And it was just a game where Walla Walla really just was struggling to get it together. After their first 2 innings, they decided, you know what, let's scrap everybody. One high, 1-0. For the first 2 times through the order, rather. Either way, it was a quick exit for many of the players for Walla Walla. It was very unique because they really hadn't been making any substitutions at all throughout the year. This one fouled back, 1-1. I guess if the coach is just frustrated how the team's playing for the first 2 times through the order, that'll result in some big changes. Here's the 1-1. Grounded foul, 1-2. I don't really think it's on Walla Walla. I just think that Dylan O'Connor pitched a really, really excellent game. He had the complete game for the Drifters in just a little over 90 pitches. So he got it done quickly and efficiently. He was getting a lot of weak contact and really just struggled for that 5th inning where he allowed the 2 runs, all with 2 outs. Swing and a miss from Stoffel. And how about that? 7 strikeouts through 6 innings for Jay Stoffel. And he continues the deal. We head to the bottom of the 6th, still knotted at 0. You are listening to the Springfield Drifters here on the Drifters live stream.
Of food carts and concessions located on both the first and third base concourses, as well as by the north entrance. This is also your friendly reminder that alcohol sales at all of our concession stands will cease at the end of the 7th inning. We kindly remind you to please drink responsibly. number 2, Jalen Ray.
Bottom of the 6th inning, Jalen Ray, Cole Kleckner, Jordan Justice, the top of the order, 2 up for the Drifters. And the new pitcher on the mound for the Walla Walla Sweets is going to be Colby Solomon. First pitch from Solomon called the strike, 0-1. That means the Cameron Scudder's day is over, and he had an excellent performance today. He pitched 5 innings overall, and he only gave up 3 hits as the 0-1 misses, and it's now 1-1. Only gave up the 3 hits, 0 earned runs. As Ray grounds it to the left side, coming in as Girardin. He'll throw on the run and get the speedy Ray at first. As the first out is recorded here in the bottom of the 6th, going back to Scudder. He only walked 1 batter, and he ultimately finished with 4 strikeouts as Colby Solomon comes in and gets the first batter and Jalen Ray to ground out. 1 out, nobody on here in the bottom of the 6th. Jalen Ray 0 for 3 today in his return to the lineup. And it brings up Cole Kleckner, who's 0 for 2. First pitch in there for a strike, 0-1. So Colby Solomon, he's originally from Kenmore, Washington. Goes to Gonzaga. Off speed. Drops in there for a strike, and it's 0-2 quickly to Kleckner. Solomon this past year didn't see any time in any game for the Bulldogs. This pitch misses away, 1-2. So he redshirted. That was after a successful career at Inglemoor High School. Quickly gets ahead, 1-2. Off speed and a swinging strike 3 for Cole Kleckner as he lost his bat into the netting. And quickly 2 are gone here in the 6th.
Jordan Justice.
Brings up Jordan Justice, the DH. We've seen him DH a little bit after playing some time in the outfield. Today he's 0 for 1 with a strikeout in the 1st and a walk in the 4th. First pitch bounces in, curveball, 1-0. Solomon really wasting no time. Curveball again, gets Justice to fly one towards the right side of the field, drifting and falling into foul territory. That's 1-1. Solomon's been really locked in. He's really just hopped on the bump and fired it in there. Here's the 1-1. Pitch misses away, and it's now 2-1. Solomon, this is his 6th time out there for the Walla Walla Sweets. He's a 14-14 ERA. Gave up 7 runs in his first outing. Gets now a 2-2 count as he gets a pitch called to strike on the inside part of the plate. Since that 7-run performance in 1 inning against Ridgefield, he's really had good numbers. Pitch misses away, and it's now full, 3-2. 2 runs against Yakima Valley, no runs against Cowlitz in 2 innings, 1 run in 2 innings against Port Angeles, and last week against Corvallis, 1 run on just 2 hits in an inning. Justice lines this to left, and it gets down. It's a 2-out single for the Drifters. First hit for Springfield since all the way back in the 3rd inning. And it brings up Jake Dodge. So Dodge today, 1 for 2 with a single and a ground out into a double play. 2 out, runner at first in Justice. First pitch to Dodge. Of course he swings, but he fouls it back. 0-1. Jake Dodge from Southridge High School in Beaverton. Originally went to Westview, but after his first year, didn't enjoy his experience at Westview. Ultimately transferred to Southridge, and that led to a successful career for him there. Pitch gets in the dirt. Justice a little bit caught up at first, and he'll slide back safely. 1-1. I feel like it's a little bit tough for guys in high school to go play at one school, learn the whole coaching staff at one place, and then have to transfer to another school. Dodge, though, he was able to do it and end up getting a D1 scholarship. Solomon fires a ball, curve ball, and it's now 2-0. I was a little bit excited to see Colby Solomon out there for Walla Walla. When I was doing prep for the Walla Walla Sweets, he was a guy that stood out to me. The pitch misses, 3-1. The reasoning why is, although he didn't have any stats at Gonzaga, looked at the photo and he had bright red hair, which I myself, as a redhead, really appreciated, because I don't see many gingers playing baseball, and so I'm happy to see another one out there. Dodge swings right through it. It's 3-2. Solomon, though, he's a really smart kid. Cumulative 3.95 GPA. Thinking about computer science or business in Gonzaga, and you know, Gonzaga's a good school. Dodge looks at the pitch, misses, and it's a walk for Jake Dodge. He's aboard for the second time today, and puts a runner in scoring position for the Drifters with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Justice heads over to second on the walk. Is a big at bat for Taylor Holder. Each team in a stalemate right now, 0-0. First pitch to Holder. Swings it, lines it to left, staying up for Fennington, come in and make the catch. It was first pitch swinging for Taylor Holder, and he got some good contact. Just stayed up enough for the left fielder in Fenning, and that'll do it for the 6th. 2 men are left stranded on just 1 hit from Jordan Justice. We head to the 7th, still tied at 0. You are listening to the Springfield Drifters here on the Drifters live stream.
Fans would like to take one last opportunity tonight to draw your attention to the outfield fence in recognition of the sponsors and donors making the 2022 Drifters inaugural season possible. Their contributions are greatly appreciated.
Tell me now, baby, is it good to you? And can you do all the things that I do? I can take you home. Sometimes it's like science with a knife, baby, edgy and dull. I'll cut a 6-inch valley through the middle of myself. At night I wake up with the sheets soaking wet and a freight train running through the middle of my head. And you cool my desire.
Now pitching for the Drifters at number 40, Eli Holbert. Now batting at number 18, Devin Ornelas.
Top of the 7th inning, it's a new pitcher on the mound for the Springfield Drifters. Eli Holbert now pitching for Springfield. He'll come in for Jay Stoffel after he threw 6 really good innings. First pitch, in there for a strike, 0-1. It's a little bit hard actually saying Eli Holbert, as I just know him as Peaches. That's his nickname, Peaches. Everybody here calls him that. 0-1. fouled back. That's quickly 0-2 to Devin Ornelas, who today is 0 for 2 with a strikeout and flyout. Ornelas, the center fielder, he was 0 for 1 yesterday with a walk. Only batting .133 with 8 strikeouts this season with Walla Walla, making number 9 today with his strikeout back in the second. Middle line, this one foul. We'll see another pitch. It's been a while since we've seen Holbert. Goes all the way back to last Saturday, so it's been a week for Holbert as well. It's kind of what happens when you have a loaded bullpen. Pitch misses outside, it's 1-2. It also doesn't help when you have a pitcher yesterday go the full 9 innings that you don't get anybody any reps. Obviously, you want to see Dylan O'Connor go the distance, but it is summer ball, and a lot of these pitchers are here for reps. 1-2, got him looking. It's a strikeout to start for Eli Holbert. The first batter's retired here in the 7th.
Number 13, Cooper Cross.
So Jay Stoffel, who started the game today, he finished with 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, 0 runs, 1 walk, and 7 strikeouts. Really impressive performance for Jace, and now Stoffel starts his day with a strikeout. Not a bad start. First pitch to Cooper Cross, grounded up the middle. Sitzman trying to barehand it after he tried to knock it down backhanded. He had a little bit of trouble. It was a chopping ball from Cross, and he's aboard on an infield single.
Now batting number 2, Jared Mazzaferro.
So here's Jared Mazzaferro, the second baseman. Will stand in for the 3rd time today, 0 for 2 with a strikeout. One out, top of the 7th, runner at first. That was the 6th hit of the game for Walla Walla, but neither team has been able to scratch across a run. Swing and a miss from Mazzaferro, and it's 0-1. So going back to Eli Holbert, we all call him Peaches. He's originally from Georgia before moving up here to Oregon. He's from Sherwood, Oregon, but really just being from Georgia, he went to a football camp at the University of Oregon. One of the coaches nicknamed him Peaches because he was from the Peach State in Georgia. It's just stuck. The 0-1 lined over the jumping Sitzman at second. Heading to third is Cross. Fielding it in the outfield is Holder as he fires a bullet into Sitzman, the cutoff man. Now runners at the corners as Mazzaferro gets his first hit of the series. And now Holbert has a little bit of a jam to work out of. So bring up Will Fenning, and this is the guy that you probably don't want to be pitching against. Will Fenning, the .439 batting average, 3 doubles, 6 RBIs on the year, and he's been hitless so far in this series. It's really, really something. He has had a hit in every single game for the past 13 prior to this one. And now standing in. Fouls it back, and it's now 0-1 to Will Fenning. So Fenning was taken out yesterday, and that ended his hit streak. He was 0 for 2, and today he's 0 for 2. He did reach on a walk in the 3rd, but he's definitely a hungry hitter. Drifters now in double play depth. Sitzman standing at second, Ray at 3rd, and Sitzman's shifted a little bit closer to the second base bag. Leading off for him first is Mazzaferro. Holbert fires. Fenning sends this towards right field. Coming in and not making the catch is Holder. It's a single for Fenning. The throw comes to the plate as holding up was Cross. He gets in standing up. It's an RBI single for Will Fenning, as it looked like Holder was going to come in and make the catch, but it dropped right in front of him, and the first run of the game comes off the bat of Will Fenning. So advancing over to second is Mazzaferro. Fenning to first, and Holbert comes in, struck out the first batter to him, but has since allowed 3 straight singles. This brings up Josh Williams. 2 men on, 1 out, 1-0 Walla Walla leading. First pitch to Williams. Runs inside. 1-0. Holbert, he's a hard-throwing right-hander. Really known for his fastball that reaches in the 90s. He has a fastball, curveball, slider, so just a 3-pitch guy himself compared to the 4 pitches we saw from Stoffel. But he's really just a fastball guy. Fires in a 91-mile-per-hour fastball that is sent out into foul territory. Making the catch is Jack Thompson. And Williams is retired for the 3rd time today, a 1-for-4 day now for Josh Williams. So now 2 outs in the top of the 7th. 1-0 Walla Walla leading after the RBI single from Will Fenning. 3 hits so far in the inning after they were held hitless for the prior 2. As Stoffel got back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings. But they put in the new pitcher in Eli Holbert, and he's already given up a run. For granted, this is his first time throwing in a week. This brings up J.J. Girardin, the shortstop. First pitch to him. Swings that, fouls it off, 0-1. Girardin struggled today, a ground out and 2 strikeouts, both of them swinging. As he's digging in for the 4th time today. Saw Girardin at 3rd base yesterday. He's the shortstop today. Point Loma, where he plays, he primarily works as a second baseman. He's also had experience at shortstop. He'll ground this one to the left side. Coming in is Ray, throwing it on the run over to first. Gets Girardin at first, but Walla Walla takes the lead 1-0 after the RBI single from Will Fenning. We head to the bottom of the 7th. It's Take Me Out to the Ballpark time here at Hamlin Sports Complex. You're listening to the Springfield Drifters here on the Drifters live stream.
Pitching for the Sweets, number 22, Tyler Cornett. Now batting, number 18, Nate Stevens.
Bottom of the 7th inning. Nate Stevens, Ethan Sitzman, and Jack Thompson due up for the Springfield Drifters. That is batters 6, 7, and 8 for Springfield. It's a new pitcher on the mound, and it's going to be Tyler Cornett, the right-hander from Cameron University, who's actually going to be heading off to West Texas A&M next year. He's joining his teammate right now in Will Fenning. Both Cameron and West Texas play in the same conference, and so he's making the transition from Cameron to West Texas. And I'm sure he's getting accustomed to Will Fenning, who just gave Walla Walla the lead 1-0 after his RBI single. First pitch to Nate Stevens, fouled off, 0-1. So Cornetti comes in for Colby Solomon. He threw that 6th inning for Walla Walla, had a strikeout, did allow a single and a walk. Other than that, he got 1 strikeout and 3 batters out, 1 inning of scoreless baseball. The 0-1 in there for a strike to Stevens as he falls behind 0-2. Nate Stevens today, 1 for 2 with the single back in the second. He's only up for the 3rd time today as the Drifters only have 4 hits overall. The 0-2, and Stevens gave a big rip and he swung right through it. 3 pitches, 3 strikes. And that's a good way to start if you're Tyler Cornett. Bring up Ethan Sitzman, who today is 0 for 2 after his 2 for 4 performance yesterday, batting at 286 overall with the Drifters. So Cornett comes in. This is his 5th appearance on the year. 0-0 with a 4.90 ERA. He did start 1 game, and that was against Corvallis. They ended up losing that game. Pitch high to Sitzman, and it's 1-0. Has 19 strikeouts so far in 11 innings. Got a 6 strikeout performance against Port Angeles as he fires in a strike, and it's 1-1. Only has 8 walks, so a big strikeout to walk guy. He's walked 2 batters in each of his outings. In his first 3 outings, he went 3 innings, and his last one, he went 2. Sitzman looks at the 1-1, it misses, and it's now 2-1. They had pretty similar numbers at Cameron University this past year. He struck out 66 batters in 53 1/3. He only walked 31. The 2-1 inside on Sitzman is 3-1. It's almost double, in fact, more than double the amount of strikeouts compared to walks for the senior. (3-1) to Sitzman. Called a strike. Sitzman thought he was going to first. Instead, he has a full count now, and we'll see how large the strike zone is going to be. Billy Yeager, the home plate umpire, and Andrew Mervin, the field umpire today. The 3-2, Sitzman gets jammed and fouls it off, and he'll see another pitch. Tyler Cornett, originally from Shallowater, Texas. His father played golf at West Texas A&M, and so he'll be heading off to his father's alma mater. It's pretty cool. There's the 3-2. That one outside, and Sitzman is aboard with a walk.
Now batting, number 31, Jack Thompson.
This brings up Jack Thompson, the 3rd baseman, who today is 0 for 2 with the strikeout back in the 5th. I think it's been a big jump for Jack Thompson. You know, he had that impressive season at Lewis and Clark this past year. We were talking about 58 hits, 20 doubles, 1 triple, and 14 home runs for the left-handed hitter. Coming in this WCL has been quite the adjustment as the first pitch to him is high, 1-0. And I think that's a big thing for him. You know, he's a D3 guy at Lewis and Clark, and seeing a lot of D3 pitchers, he's been able to have a lot of success. The WCL, you're playing with much higher caliber players. The 1-0 outside. It's now 2-0. You have D3 guys that play in the WCL, but these are the best of the best. Even guys like Julian Hernandez and Hunter Dryden on the Drifters, they had success against Thompson in their college careers as Thompson gets jammed, just barely makes contact on the ball. Fielding it is Cornett, and he'll throw it over to first and get Thompson. Sitzman advances over to second, and now a runner in scoring position with 2 outs, and that was basically a swinging sack bunt for Jack Thompson. And that's the tying run in scoring position. It brings up Mac Moyer, the left fielder. So Mac Moyer stands in 1 for 2 today with a single and a strikeout. After that single, though, he did get picked off. A little bit aggressive on the base paths. Swings and fouls off this pitch, and it's now 0-1 to Mac Moyer. Moyer batting in the 9 spot today. They were using him to try to turn over the order and have a quick few batters in a row with Moyer, Ray, and Kleckner all back to back to back. All with speed for Springfield. The 0-1 misses, and it's now 1-1. We've seen Coach Richards actually do that a lot with the Springfield Drifters lineup. They like to put a guy that's a little bit quick at the bottom of the lineup, trying to spark the top of the order to come up. 1-1 the count from Cornett. Here's the pitch. Slider in there for a strike. 1-2 to Mac Moyer. So Tyler Cornett working in. Has a runner at second, trying to get out without surrendering a run. 1-0 his team leads. Moyer checks his swing. Did he go? There's an appeal, and he did not. And it's 2-2, so the freshman stays alive. It's an intense moment as the tying run is in scoring position. 1-0, Walla Walla leading with 2 outs. 2 balls, 2 strikes in the bottom of the 7th. The sun beginning to set a little bit here in Springfield. Moyer's gonna call times. Gonna make Cornett think about this pitch a little bit more. The righty comes set. Here's the pitch. Moyer stays alive and fouls it off. We'll see a 2-2 pitch one more time. Mac Moyer's only batting .200 with the Drifters. He's had a few hits. None would be huger than this one here if he is to get it. 2-2. Checks his swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. Moyer sprints over to first, but it doesn't matter, as that'll do it for the bottom of the 7th inning. 1-0 Walla Walla leading as we head to the 8th. You're listening to the Springfield Drifters here on the Drifters live stream.
Barbecue and Catering. If you haven't already had your fill of their savory brisket or other delicious menu options, we kindly request that you head down now before they wrap up shop for the night at the end of the 8th. And while you're down there, don't forget to grab one last treat from Bees Sweets. for Jordan Andrade.
Top of the 8th inning. It's a new pitcher on the mound for the Springfield Drifters. Eli Holbert's day is over, and he hands the keys to Ryan Escover. Escover lined up, and the first pitch from him misses high, 1-0 to Jordan Andrade, the third baseman. So Eli Holbert came in, peaches as we like to call him. 1 inning, 3 hits, 1 run, and he surrendered the lead. As this one's going to be skied out towards center field. Kleckner making the catch. And the first out is recorded here in the 8th. Andrade out for the 3rd time today, a 1-for-4 day for the third baseman from UNLV. So bring up Derek Gellis, the first baseman. So Holbert had a 0-0 game as he entered the game, and he left it 1-0 for Walla Walla as Escover loses control on that off-speed pitch. It's 1-0 now to Gellis, the first baseman. Escover, this is his 5th appearance of the year, and just like Holbert, he hasn't thrown in a week. Last threw a week ago against Bend and gave up 2 earned runs. Gellis rounds this one to the first base side. Dodge comes in, picks it up, and taps on first base, and quickly 2 outs here in the 8th. 1-0 the score, 2 outs, top of the 8th. And bring up Nick Strong, the catcher, who's 2 for 3 with 2 singles and a strikeout. 8 hits overall for Walla Walla, just 4 for Springfield. And it really just was this past inning, 3 straight singles, and it scored Cooper Cross. First pitch is Strong, high 1-0. So Escover this year, a 2.84 ERA. His only runs he's given up on the year was that last outing against Bend, where he gave up 2 hits and the 2 earned runs against 5 batters he faced in an inning. This one's fouled off by Strong. It's 1-1. Prior to that, he had thrown 5 innings, had just given up 1 hit. He had 2 hitless innings against Bend on June 7th, and then 2 hitless innings against Yakima Valley on June 14th. So he'd been really, really solid, just that one poor outing against Bend. Here's the 1-1. That one inside, and it's now 2-1. Escover, he's a sophomore from Shoreline Community College. He's coached there by Dave Snell, the father of former American League Cy Young winner Blake Snell. The 2-1 fouled away. It's now 2-2. He had 5 saves this past year at Shoreline as they started their year 15-3, but they had a 16-game losing streak. It's a tough break. It's insane to start 12 games over 500 and then lose 16 straight. As now he has a full count. Here to Nick Strong. Here's the payoff pitch. Strong pops it up. Out of play one more time. So Escover, he's been a guy that's come out of the bullpen. Said that he feels confident both starting and coming out of the pen, but the Drifters have definitely used him more as a bullpen pitcher than a starter. Pitching group is stacked. Payoff pitch. Got him looking. 3 up, 3 down in the 8th for Walla Walla. Escover comes in and gets his first strikeout on the 3rd batter he faces to Nick Strong. We head now to the bottom of the 8th. 1-0 the score. You are listening to the Springfield Drifters here on the Drifters live stream.
Fans, we kindly request your assistance in keeping our park clean and beautiful by making sure all of your food trays, wrappers, napkins, and bottles make it to any of our trash and recycle bins located around the park. Your help with this is greatly appreciated. number 2, Jalen Ray.
Bottom of the 8th inning, the Springfield Drifters are currently trailing the Walla Walla Sweets 1-0. And it brings up the top of the order for Springfield as Jalen Ray, the shortstop, stands in to face off against Tyler Cornett. First pitch misses away, and it's 1-0 to Jalen Ray. Jalen Ray, this is his first time back in the lineup for Springfield in a week, and so far he's been 0 for 3. Ray lines this over the glove of the first baseman, Gelios, as now he's aboard with a single. And the leadoff man's on for Springfield.
Number 8, Cole Kleckner.
Now it'll be interesting to see what Richards does in this situation. Springfield is leading 1-0, and consistently throughout the year, this has been a team that has really used the small ball to their favor. You can see right now Walla Walla is now putting on a serious shift. The third baseman, Andrade, selling well into the grass. Kleckner shows bunt, does lay down the bunt. Cornett fields it, fires it to first. Kleckner is out. It was a bang-bang play, and Kleckner has speed. It was just a little bit too close to the mound, but it advances the runner and Ray over to second, and it brings up Jordan Justice, the DH. Runner in scoring position, just one out in the bottom of the 8th. Springfield looking to equalize it here. Jordan Justice with some serious pop, 3 home runs in the last 3 days. First pitch buckled him up. In there for a strike, 0-1. He had a strikeout on just 3 pitches in his first at bat, but has since walked and had a single. The 0-1. Misses away, and it's now 1-1. So Jordan Justice yesterday 1 for 3 with that home run, and that home run actually came in the 8th inning. It was a 2-run shot, so this is a similar situation. 8th inning with a runner on, but his team is trailing by 1. He'll send this one deep towards right field. Is it going? At the wall, making the catch is the right fielder Williams. Tagging to third is Ray. And the wind that time may have carried it a little bit as it's still blowing out to left. Justice has some pop towards the opposite field direction, but right along the fence, Williams makes it at the track. And now 2 are gone here in the 8th. This brings up Jake Dodge. Runner at third and Jalen Ray. He is the tying run. As the first pitch to Dodge, in there for a strike, 0-1. So although there are 2 outs and the runner at third, it's still big because Strong, the catcher behind the plate, has to be a brick wall. Can't let the tying run come in as Dodge hacks right through it. He falls behind, 0-2. Jalen Ray has some serious speed over at third. He is the tying run, and so any ball that gets past the catcher Strong, you got to think Ray is going to full send it. The 0-2 outside. 1-2 now to Jake Dodge, who today is 1 for 2 with a single and a ground ball that he grounded into a double play on. He walked, though, in his last at bat in the 6th. The 1-2. Grounded right side, coming in is Mazzaferro. He'll grab it, throw it over to first, and the threat is eliminated. They leave the runner stranded at third. We head to the 9th. Walla Walla leading 1-0. You're listening to the Springfield Drifters here on the Drifters live stream.
Subscribe to the Chronicle today to follow your Springfield Drifters all season long. The Chronicle serving Springfield, Cresswell, Cottage Grove, and Pleasant Hill with hyper-local news and information. Please visit their website at chronicle1909.com or keep an eye out for copies at select local
Top of the ninth inning, 1-0 Walla Walla leading. Ryan Escobar back on the mound for the Springfield Drifters, facing off against the 7, 8, and 9 hole hitters, Ornelas, Cross, and Mazzaferro. First pitch to Ornelas, misses away, 1-0. Ryan Escobar came in after Eli Holbert gave up the tied game, surrendered a run, and ultimately gave Walla Walla the lead, as this one's grounded foul, 1-1. Escobar came in and had a 1-2-3 eighth inning where he got a strikeout looking and a couple of groundouts. Escobar has only given up 2 runs overall in the year, and that was in his last outing. And already a better performance today than he did a week ago when he last threw. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss, a big hack for Ornelas, and it's now 1-2. Ornelas today has struck out twice. He has 10 strikeouts overall in the year, and he's 0 for 3. Came in today with a 133 batting average. Off speed outside, and it's now 2-1 to the center fielder. Ornelas, he goes to LMU. He transferred there from TCU, originally from the Valley, though. 2-2 away. It's now 3-2. The valley I'm referencing is the San Fernando Valley. That's what they call it, just the valley. It's from Chatsworth. The full count pitch, skied back. We'll see it again. Chatsworth, I actually drove past Chatsworth a lot last year. I was broadcasting in the California Collegiate League in Thousand Oaks, and I would drive past the 118 freeway to go through Chatsworth. Here's the payoff pitch, skied back again, and we'll see another payoff pitch. Ornelas really working this at bat. He went to TCU after high school and didn't appear in any games, ultimately transferred to LMU and got a lot more action. Started 51 games this past year for the Lions. Full count, jammed him up. Thompson sprinting over towards the fence, and it goes off the netting, and we'll see another 3-2 pitch. So he's from Chatsworth, and then he went to Notre Dame High School. It's a prestigious baseball school also in the Valley in the Sherman Oaks area. Hunter Green, the pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds, #1 overall pick a few years back. He was at Notre Dame. Grounded right side, Sitzman, the second baseman, comes in, tosses it over to Dodge, and gets the first out here in the ninth.
Now batting number 13, Cooper Cross.
So bring up Cooper Cross, the DH. Cooper Cross is the only run of the game. He was the single in the 7th, and then he was able to get around and come in to score on the RBI hit from Will Fenning. It was a close play at the plate. He did reach standing, but it was a close one. Pitch high, 1-0. He was really just tagging at third, thinking that Holder was going to come in and right and make the catch. Off the bat, I thought so too. He still came in after it dropped. 1-0 misses, and it's now 2-0. It was a close play, and Holder, the way that he was covering it and right, he came in, showed the glove. It looked like he was going to catch it, and it held Cross up. Ultimately fired it to the plate, and Cross beat the throw, as it's now 3-0, as Escobar misses again. Here's the 3-0. Roped foul. It's a rare 3-0 green light that you see. Haven't seen anyone from the Springfield Drifters have a 3-0 count that they've swung at. We've seen a few Walla Walla guys. Actually, yesterday saw it once, and now today we see Cooper Cross do it. 3-1 the count, 1 out, nobody on. Top of the ninth. Walla Walla, just a 1 run in the 7th. That's been the difference. Here's the 3-1. Hit to right field, excuse me. Holder going back to the track and making the catch along the track. And Cooper Cross is retired. I'll bring up Jared Mazzaferro.
Number 2, Jared Mazzaferro.
So Mazzaferro comes out after singling last time he came to the plate in the 7th. He'd struck out and grounded out prior to that. It was his first hit of the series. He was 0 for 3 yesterday. As the first pitch to him, fouled back 0-1. Mazzaferro, we've talked about it, goes to Washington. He originally transferred there from Ohlone Community College. It's over in the Bay Area. The 0-1, fouled back again, 0-2. Went there, that school's in Fremont. He spent 2 years at Ohlone, batted 276 with 16 RBIs his sophomore year. His first year there, he batted 391. So a lot more success in 2020 prior to 2021 season. The 0-2 to him, bounces in, and it's now 1-2. Ultimately, though, he was able to get the scholarship at Washington. This past year, he struggled offensively. He only hit .087 with 2 hits and 23 at-bats. Struck out 10 times. Here's the 1-2. Hit towards right field. Holder coming in a few steps, making the catch. And Mazzaferro's retired. Back-to-back 1-2-3 innings for Ryan Escover. We head to the bottom of the 9th inning, 1-0. Walla Walla leading here on the Drifters live stream.
Now batting, number 30, Taylor Holder.
Bottom of the 9th inning, the Springfield Drifters are trailing 1-0. It's do or die for Springfield. Taylor Holder, Nate Stevens, Ethan Sitzman due up 5, 6, and 7. Gwinnett still on the mound for Walla Walla. First pitch to Holder, hits him. So one pitch and a runner's aboard for Springfield, and that's the tying run.
Now batting, number 18, Nate Stevens.
Springs up the winning run in Nate Stevens. Nate Stevens today, he had a single in the second, but has since grounded out and struck out swinging. That last at-bat was a 3-pitch, 3 swings for Stevens strikeout. Now they're going to put in a pinch runner. So Taylor Holder, who has decent speed, is going to be pinch ran for Cannon Reeder. So Reeder at first, Stevens at the plate. We'll see if Stevens decides to square one up. We saw this situation last inning. The Drifters got a man aboard on a single from Jalen Ray. Kleckner then bunted him over to second. We'll see if Stevens squares one up. He does. Bunts it to the first base side. Fielding it is Jellos. He'll tag over and get Stevens, and he gives himself a fist bump as he advances Reeder over to second, and the tying runs in scoring position.
17, Ethan Sitzman.
So bring up Ethan Sitzman. Sitzman, he was 0 for 2 in his first 2 at-bats, but got a single in the 7th. He was 2 for 4 yesterday, hoping to go 2 for 4 again today and pick up a big hit for Springfield. It's just 1-0. Springfield just 5 hits today. They've been averaging about 6 hits a game. It'd be huge if they got one here. First pitch high to Sitzman, 1-0. Sitzman looks locked in, nods his head. Cornette on the mound, comes set. Here's the pitch, runs away, 2-0. Cornette came into the game for Colby Solomon in the 7th inning. Had 2 strikeouts in the 7th, allowed a single to Jalen Ray, and then after that point, had the sac bunt and then a flyout and a ground out. He has 2 more outs to get. The 2-0, in there for a strike, 2-1. One right on the black on the outside part of the plate. Cornette's been shifty with his pitches. He's been selective of where he wants it. Nods his head and comes set at the waist. Kicks and fires the 2-1. Sitzman sends it the opposite field. Wait, is it dropping? And it goes just foul. It was really just a couple of feet away from staying fair. Sitzman was jammed up, sent it the opposite field, and now he has a 2-2 count as he slowly walks back to the plate. You can feel the intensity here in Springfield. Cannon Reeder definitely has speed over at second. Debatably the fastest player on Springfield's entire roster. Wind has completely died down today. The flag is straight down now at 9:01 p.m. The 2-2. Curveball inside. Slider, excuse me. Either way, Sitzman down looking, and that's a big strikeout for Cornette. And now Walla Walla 1 out away from winning. It's the 3rd strikeout for Cornette. We have a pinch hitter. It's going to be Ryan Fowler. So Ryan Fowler, who came on today before the game, he did our pregame player talk, as we did not have a Tommy talk today. Richards was off doing other things, and so we grabbed Ryan Fowler. He said that he was going to get the day off. Now he's back here and he's playing. He's getting in at bat after a 3-for-5 day yesterday with a couple of base knocks. First pitch to him, in there for a strike, 0-1. Fowler, a new addition to the Springfield team. He had played for Bend on a 10-day contract, and then for the CCLST before coming to Springfield. Inside, and it's 1-1. Yesterday, the 2 singles that resulted in 2 runs, as well as another single in the game, but he had a couple of RBI singles as a chance for another one here. 1-1. With that call to strike. Slider again from Cornette, 1-2. Bottom of the 9th, 1-0, Walla Walla leading. 2 outs and a runner in scoring position for the Drifters. Fowler at the plate. Here's the 1-2. Fouled off, he stays alive. The Drifters still just have 1 more out to work with. Ryan Fowler, the lefty hitter. We had been saying that he was a switch hitter. He came into college as a switch hitter, but ultimately has stuck it out on the left side. He's going to be a lefty for the remainder of his career as the 1-2 grounded to the right side. Coming in and fielding his jealous, he flips it over to Cornette. He taps on first, and that'll do it for us here in Springfield as Walla Walla wins it 1-0. It's just 1 run in the 7th inning. And that was it for Walla Walla. It was a close game throughout. It was a 0-0 game for a while as Jay Stoffel and Cameron Scudder were dealing back and forth. Ultimately, they pulled Stoffel after the 6th inning after he pitched 6 0-run innings, only gave up 5 hits and had 7 strikeouts. They put in Eli Holbert. He gave up 3 hits, all singles. 1 run came in. He did have a strikeout to start, but after that, just kind of went downhill. Ryan Escover came into the game, and he had 2 1-2-3 innings, 1 in the 8th, 1 in the 9th, but really it was just that 7th inning. The back-to-back-to-back singles for Walla Walla, and that's the difference. Walla Walla was able to string together some hits. Springfield today, just 5 hits overall, and they were pretty much scattered throughout. They had numerous opportunities. You got to think about the 8th inning. They had Jalen Ray at third base, and they couldn't score him. And then in the 9th, they had a runner in scoring position. They had one out and 2 outs to work with. Ultimately, Sitzman went down looking, and Fowler grounds out to end the game. So Springfield will be back at it again tomorrow after they fall to 7-13 overall. Walla Walla will improve to 8-9 as they inch closer back to 500. Tomorrow the game will be game number 3, and it will be the decider for the series overall. Springfield so far has only taken 1 series, and that was against the Bend Elks, and so they're hoping to really get back and get the win against Walla Walla tomorrow to claim the victory in the series against the Walla Walla Sweets, but they dropped this one 1-0 in a close one. We'll be back at it again tomorrow. It's going to be a 105 game. We've normally had 635 games here at Hamlin Sports Complex, but tomorrow's going to be a 105. We'll start the pregame around 12:45 or so with the Tommy Talk then, but that'll do it for us here in Springfield as Walla Walla wins a close one, 1-0. Thank you to everybody that's been involved in this broadcast. It's been a pleasure. Knight Uretsky here from Hamlin Sports Complex. So long from Springfield.